All right, guys, welcome back after that short advert break. Now let's get straight to this. Now we'll focus on pie chart. Okay, so what is important when you look at pie charts? I indicated here it's a circular diagrams where each sector of the circle, what we also refer to as the slice of the pie, represent a data value. Each sector can be expressed either as a fraction, a decimal, or as a percentage. What else is important? That pie charts are often used for representing categorical data. Then also, the method to determine the size of each sector is where we take the size of the sector, that's now in degrees, and we say the fraction of the whole multiply by 360 degrees. And now I want to share something important with you, right? So I indicated here that you will not be asked to draw pie charts, but you must be able to interpret and read values from it. Also important is that you must be able to explain how the sizes of the different sectors have been determined. Okay, so I hope that is all clear to you. Let us look at our first question. So I'm saying here, the pie chart below indicates the percentage of people who visited the Kruger National Park from 5 different South African provinces. In 2022, an estimated 1,659,793 people visited the Kruger National Park from these 5 different provinces. So there we have our pie chart, and you can see now from the Eastern Cape 10%, Mpumalanga 10%, KwaZulu-Natal 40%, Western Cape 20%, and then Gauteng 20%. All right, our visitors. So let's look at our question. So I indicated here, study the pie chart and information above, and answer the question that follow. So now I'm looking at question number A. Identify the province with the highest number of visitors to the Kruger National Park in 2022. So if I look at my pie chart here, I'll see that will be KwaZulu-Natal. All right, it says identify the province. I'll write it down. So that will be KwaZulu-Natal. So it's important to read the question, to answer the question. It says identify the province, not the percentage for that matter. Okay, then question B, write as a ratio the percentage of visitors from the Western Cape to the percentage of visitors from the Eastern Cape in its simplest form. All right, so it must be a ratio and it must be in simplest form. So with a ratio, as you know, order is very important. So first it says visitors from Western Cape. So if I look at my pie chart, here's the Western Cape. All right, so visitors from the Western Cape is 20%. Right, we agree. And now I'm going to indicate with my 2 dots here, that's my ratio. And then from the Eastern Cape, so Eastern Cape, here's the Eastern Cape, and we can say that's 10%. Right, so 20% is to 10%. So now I'm going to simplify my ratio by saying 10 goes into itself once, into 20 twice. So the ratio in terms of number of visitors from Western Cape to percentage of visitors from the Eastern Cape is 2:1. And please note, when I write my ratio in its simplest form, I don't indicate the unit. In this case, our unit is percentage. Guys, I hope that's clear to all of you. Let's look at our next question. Question number C. Calculate the total number of visitors from KwaZulu-Natal to the Kruger National Park in 2022 if a total of 1,659,793 people visited the Kruger National Park from these 5 provinces. So now let's find. It should be a total number of visitors, not what percentage, right? KZN, as we know by now, it's 40%, right? So therefore I will say 40%, so I'll write it as 40 over 100. Multiplication means of, right? 1,659,793. So I want you to do this with me. All right, so I'm going to say 40 divided by 100, multiply by 1,659,793. So if I simplify this, right, so that will give me an answer of 663,917,2. Right, we know we don't have such a thing as 2 person. So therefore, I'll say this is 663,917. And remember it says the total number of visitors. So I'll write there 663,917 visitors. Guys, I hope that's clear. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. So it says now we're going to focus on double bar graphs. Let's quickly jump into it. So some background information. It says single, multiple, and stacked bar graphs. Right, so what is important? A bar graph shows the frequency, right, of each data value by means of bars. Also important is that we use bar graphs to represent discrete categorical data. Then we have single bar graphs that represent one data value per category. Single and one goes hand in hand. And then we have compound bar graphs, right? And it include multiple and stacked bar graphs, right? So now that is what I indicated. Multiple bar graphs, two or more data values per category are compared and represented by bar graph next to, or the bars next to each other. And then when we look at stacked bar graphs, two or more data values per category are compared and represented by bars being stacked on top of each other, right? Stacked bar graphs indicate cumulative totals per category. All right, so multiple bar graphs, bars next to each other, then stacked bar graphs, we know the bars being stacked on top of each other. All right, also important, the bars are equally spaced and are the same width. Okay, let's look at our first question here. It says, China and the USA import most of their crude oil. The bar graph shows the world production and consumption of crude oil according to region. Right, let's look at our bar graph here, double bar graph. We have amount of crude oil in millions of tons on our y-axis, right? And then here we have the different regions on our x-axis, right? North America, South America, Africa, and so on. So please always familiarize yourself with what is presented to you. Okay, so let's look at our first question. It says, use the bar graph to answer the following questions. Okay, name the region that shows the greatest difference, right? Greatest difference between the amount of crude oil they produce and the amount of crude oil they consume. Okay, so looking at this, I'm sure you'll agree with me that that will be the Middle East. All right, look at this. So we say the greatest difference. Okay, so that will definitely be our Middle East. Okay, moving now to question number B. It says calculate the difference in the production and consumption of crude oil for both North America and Asia and comment on the difference. So I indicated here, I'll start with North America first. And remember, very important, that here we indicate the amount of crude oil in millions of tons. Okay, so looking at North America, so it's here, right? So we're saying calculate the difference in the production and consumption of crude oil, right? So I'll start off, will you agree? Production here, okay, so if I look at that, it will be roughly 1,010, and remember this is millions, right, of tons. If I say calculate the difference, it means I must subtract minus, right? Now look here, this, will you agree, that's more or less 4,000, no, I'm lying, 400, roughly 410 millions of tons. I wrote it like this so that we have enough space to quickly answer this. So I'll say 1,010 million minus, and it's important that you indicate the word million here. Okay, otherwise you'll indicate it's 1,010 tons, which is not the case. Minus 410, so that will give us equals 600 millions of tons. Guys, I hope that's clear. So for North America, the difference in the production and consumption of crude oil is 600 millions of tons. Then now I'll be looking at Asia. Where is Asia? Here we have Asia. So we agree that will be, I'm looking at this point here, more or less 1,000 and just below 1,100. So I'll say 1,080 millions of tons, right, of crude oil, minus here. That will be roughly just below 400. Can we say that's about 380 millions of tons. Right, so let's simplify this by saying 1080 minus 380. So that will give us 700 million of tons of crude oil. Now, the question also said we have to comment on the difference. So I'm sure you'll agree that Asia uses more crude oil than North America. Okay, guys, I hope that's clear to all of you. Then we have here a question that says, give one possible reason for the high consumption of crude oil in North America and Asia. Guys, if you look at this, we can say that obviously they have big economies, or we can use as an example or as a reason that they have big population. Right, guys, let us quickly take a short break. After the break, we'll continue with more of these sums. See you now.